Internet, and today's video is going to be my February wrap-up and then my March TBR. I read 3 books in the month of February. I know it's not a lot, but I do read a lot. But of physical books that I could finish, there was only 3. The first book that I read was by Audrey Cohorse, and that is her book, Of Fire and Stars. I have a book opinion on this, but for a short synopsis, it's basically about 2 princesses that, under circumstances of the kingdom civil war and all these things going around, they start to form a camaraderie and later a romance. And this book is definitely more focused on the romance than the Civil War, but it is a very beautiful thing, and it is fun to watch that slowly unfold before your eyes. The second book I read this month, and the reason why I didn't read many books, is Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter. I didn't like this book. This book took me forever to finish, and I know I should have just DNF'd it and been like, no, I'm done with it, I'm not enjoying it, but I needed to know how it ended. This book is based on a Russian folktale called Vasilina the Beautiful. Now, I've never read that folktale, but I love fairy tales, so I really thought I would love this book. And while I did love some things in this book, overall, the character of Vasa got on my nerves, and I did not like her, and it took me so long to finish this book simply because of her. And yes, I do understand you should DNF books that you don't like, but I bought this book, and I'm determined to finish the books that I buy. I have to do it. I needed to know how this ended. And then the last book that I read in the month of February that I just slipped right in there on the last day was The Mermaid Sister by Carrie Ann Noble. This book was very enjoyable for me. It might have been because I wasn't a big fan of Vasa, so anything that wasn't her was going to bring joy to my heart, but I don't want to downgrade this book. This is a very simple read. It's very easy, but I think that was part of what made it so good. The main character is Clara, and her sister has been transforming into a mermaid, and they need to take her to the ocean before she dies. And it kind of follows her emotions and how she feels about having to let go of her sister and different things going on. It's not a very complex story, but in its simplicity, that's what makes it so good. It is like a short little fun book that you just get through and you read, and I'll talk more about the emotional aspect and what I really enjoyed about it in its own book opinion video. My March TBR consists of 8 books, the first of which is The Cat of Tanglewood Forest. This book is written by Charles D. Lane. I have read some of his books geared towards adults, and I really do like them. His writing style is very abstract in nature and comes across a lot like a painting. This particular book follows a girl, and she goes into a forest and she gets transformed into a cat. Now, when I first picked up this book, I didn't pick it up because it was written by Charles D. Lane, even though I like his writing. I picked it up because of the art, which is done by Charles Vass. And so look at this cover. If you can see it, it has cats on it and this girl, and it's just beautifully done. Now, the cover in itself is wonderful, but the beautiful part is seeing the book naked. So this naked book has a watercolor done on it, and you can see the girl there, and then there's the back, and it's just this really beautiful watercolor all on the back of this book, and I couldn't pass it up. I think this was $5 for this book, and you get a beautiful watercolor cover and then a beautifully done book jacket. So I've been planning to read this book because it looks pretty, and I like pretty books. Second one is written by Melissa Glenn Harper, and I believe this is a middle school grade book. This follows a boy and his friends who play a game of espionage, and while they're playing this little game, they see 2 men who look like real spies. So it's all about their game and the real spies, and it's just a book about espionage, and I like spies because spies are cool. So I'm excited to read The Pluto Project. Now, the next couple of books are all by Leigh Bardugo. First, we have the Grisha trilogy, the first of which is Shadow and Bone. The second is Siege and Storm, and then the last is Ruin and Rising. Now, this follows a girl of Alina, and she discovers that she is a Grisha. Grisha in this world means that you have like some sort of magical power, and that is all I know. I've heard a lot of great things about Leigh Bardugo and her Grisha trilogy on BookTube, so I was really excited to read it. But the real reason I wanted to read it was because of the next series, and that is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, both by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I had first heard about this series, and I found out that it actually takes place in the same world as the Grisha trilogy. So I figured I had to read the Grisha trilogy first so I could read this series. And this series follows 6 mercenaries, and they plan a heist. I don't know what they're stealing or what they're doing or why, but they're mercenaries and there's a heist, and I like criminal elements and characters who are kind of gray. Plus, the books themselves are beautiful. Now, Six of Crows has black end paper and a red inside, and Crooked Kingdom has a red end paper and a black inside. Now, I like to fondly refer to these books as stiletto books. If you know anything about heels, you know that some stilettos have red backs and some have black backs. I don't know, but I'm excited to read these stiletto books. I just kind of want to hold them next to my face. Yep, this is a new style I'm going for. So sexy. Alright, and then the last book on my list I haven't actually received yet. I ordered it and it should be coming sometime this month, and that is Nimona. It's a graphic novel, and from this, if I remember correctly, it is about Nimona, who is a sidekick to a villain, and it tells their kind of adventure and the story and everything unfolds, and it's supposed to be really funny. I like graphic novels, and I would really like to read this book. So that is it for my February wrap-up and my March TBR. If you have read any of this book, just comment below whether or not you like it. Please do not spoil me. I will disown you and hate you forever if you do so. But if you have any nice commentary for which books you think will be really enjoyable, please comment below. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. Ring the little bell to be notified whenever I make a new video. So that is it, and goodbye, internet.